Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Tech Bandit. Alright, folks, my name's Tech Bandit. I was thinking of a video to do for you guys, and I thought about, and I realized I didn't have anything lined up for you guys, unfortunately. But as I was cruising around, I realized, when was the last time I did anything just Legion related, or just having some fun with this? So that's what we're gonna do. And since this is more of a fun video for me, that's going to be educational and hopefully entertaining for you, we're doing it on priests. Sorry, hey, it's my main spec. What do you expect me to do? Alright, we have a Shadow Priest in the background. Not Legion yet, but I was going to cover some of our talents, some of the things, my thoughts on a few odds and ends. For just all sorts, just what's coming. But let's get started. What are the major changes for Shadow Priests? Shadow Priests are moving away from that sort of build and a deploy we've seen in the past with the Shadow Orbs, Shadow Mind Blasts, building them, using them for Devouring Plague, and we're seeing them move towards Insanity, a new resource. Builds to 100, you then cast Void Eruption, is the name. I actually have the skill right in front of me, to enter Void form, where you gain access to a bunch of stuff. Void Eruption actually becomes an ability in and upon itself called Void Bolt, which I don't want to say is a spammable ability because it's got a 4-second cooldown, but it is instant cast and it's almost as powerful as Mind Blast, which is going to be really nice to play with. But there's just so much. I'm just looking at all this. Mind Blast's usefulness. Shadow Mend, which is really interesting because it's a pretty big heal. It's wraps the ally in Shadow, which heals for 800 spell power, but at a price. The ally takes, basically half the damage from all sources or leaves combat. Which means out of combat, this actually might not be a horrible heal to use to patch up a buddy. Then you've got a few other odds and ends. Vampiric Touch, that will heal. It generates a small amount of insanity. 4 insanity, to be precise. Mind Control, Shadow Fiends, which I don't know if they do what they do with that. Shower Death. Generates 10 insanity instantly, or 30 if the target dies. Unless you have something else, but we'll cover him in a second. Vampiric Embrace. And eventually, Mastery. I could see. I'm not actually sure how the shift's going to go. And the reason I say it, right now, depending on which type of Shadow Priest you are, you either favor Mastery or Crit. I'm not sure how that split's going to go. Crit will still see use, especially considering Auspicious Spirits is still a thing, and that means they can generate Insanity. But we may see Mastery bring its own because of the abilities. It's Shadow Word Pain, one of our staples, Vampiric Touch, another staple, and then Void Bolt, which again we can only use in Void form. But it's still 2 or 3 big abilities, with the third one being a really nice kicker. But let's go over some of these abilities. Top row, and I might see if I can't get a picture and throw it up on screen to give you an idea what these look like. You got Twist of Fate. Twist of Fate. This is actually a really old ability. We've seen it before. We're now seeing it at level 15. When a target gets below a certain health percentage, you either deal more or heal more for a certain period of time. When you damage, or if you're disciplined, heal them. This is really nice, especially for a disciplined priest. I can actually see this being a slightly nicer option. Simply because with disciplined priest, a lot of your output is tied into your healing. And why am I covering disciplined priest? This is a Shadow Priest video. Moving on. Still a really nice ability, because it is that big sort of finishing nuke, which means below 35%, you just can drop them. And after 20, you can start using Shadow Word Death, which is one of our big nukes. So that's even faster drop. Very nice. Fortress of the Mind. This one's pretty cool because it affects both Mind Blast and Mind Flay, which can technically be turned into Mind Spike, but we'll cover that when I get to the talent at the bottom of the tree. That's more damage and additional insanity generated. That's nice. I'm not sure it quite beat out damage for Twisted Fate, but it also is more consistent damage through the whole fight. 10% on 2 of our big moves, on 2 of the moves we use regularly, plus 2 of our insanity generators, means we're going to see more void forms, which means more void bolts, which means more haste, more insanity, because void form, I'll read it off here really fast for you. Activating, causing by void eruption, increasing all damage you deal by 20%, and once you hit level 16, reduces the cooldown on Mind Blast by 3 seconds. Seriously? Wow, that goes from a 9-second recharge to a 6-second recharge. That's nice. And grants an additional 1% haste every 1 second. Your insanity will drain increasingly fast until it reaches 0 and void form ends. When void form ends, you gain lingering insanity, allowing the haste bonus to persist for 1 minute or until you enter void form. Until you next enter void form, excuse me. That's really nice. I mean, that's a lot of haste. That is a lot of raw output. Since haste is cast time, it's also cooldown time, I believe. I don't know what's all going on with that one. But that's pretty nice stuff right there. And I think we're going to see that Twist of Fate is better for the end, whereas Fortress of the Mind would be better overall. And then this Shadowward Void, which is a decent little cast. It's 1.5 second cast. Not too long. I think Mind Blast is same as a Mind Blast. Deals the same damage as Void Bolt. Has 3 charges on a 30-second recharge and generates 25 insanity a pop. You blow through all 3 of those, that is literally almost an entire bar of insanity on the spot. That could be really useful for a lot quicker generation and also just another spell for the rotation. As for the top row, I honestly couldn't tell you. I think each will have a different purpose. I kind of like Shadowward Void for giving us just another big nuke spell we can turn up as necessary. I also like the fact that it has charges. But Fortress of the Mind is also tempting. We'll see how it goes. Mania. You move 1% faster for every 5 insanity you have. So up to 20% faster. Not bad. I'm not entirely sure it's something to write home about, but not bad. Body and Soul. Yeah. This one's... If you've played with it all in Warlords, it's there. Same thing. Cast Powered Shield on something, speed boost. 40% speed boost for 3 seconds. It's not bad. I think that one has a little more team play to it than Mania. Mania's not bad. I'm just not entirely sure I like it as much for a speed boost option because it's relying on getting a lot of insanity built, and then when you start losing it, it's going to slow you down when you enter void form. So I'm not entirely sure. Masticus? I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. When you cast Shadowward Mend on yourself, its damage over time effect heals you instead. Honestly, for soloing, I could see this being the optimal one. Because that's a pretty big heal, followed by a really nice damage over time. Instead of being damage over time, being heal over time. That could be a great soloing move. If it's iffy though, because I know how it's going to play out. I'll have to see how it plays. But other than that, not a bad layout. Between them, it's between Body and Soul and Masochist for me. I don't honestly see Mania being the prime choice. It's not a bad choice. I'm just not sure it's our best choice. Moving on. Mind Bomb replaces Psychic Scream. Inflicts the target with a Mind Bomb after 2 seconds, or if the target dies, it unleashes a Psychic Explosion, stunning all enemies within 8 yards for 2 seconds. Let's see, what is Psychic Scream good for? That's 8 seconds disorientation. Could go either way. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure I'd use it. Psychic Voice reduces the cooldown of Psychic Scream by 30 seconds. 1 minute cooldown becomes 30 seconds. Not bad. Dominate Mind. You may control your own character while your mind control is active, but mind control has a 3-minute cooldown and not be used against players. I can't tell you how many times I've just had a grand old time on any of the battlegrounds where there's a cliff and so it's mind control, throw off cliff. It is just... I've done it too many times. I don't want to give that up. Honestly, here I feel like this is just kind of a tier. It's more of a PvP tier. I could definitely see the Mind Bomb being very efficient, because again, it's only a 30-second cooldown to start with. I'm just not sure how it's going to go. I'm not a major PvPer, I'll be the first to admit. So let's be interesting how that goes. Level 60. Void Lord. Lingering Insanity persists for 8 seconds after you next enter Void form. That doesn't sound like much. But remember, that's an extra 8 seconds you weren't getting before, where you would have lost your old haste bonus. That could be nice on fights where you're constantly getting Void form back online. Not entirely sure how it will work out. That's going to be one I'd want to get my hands on and play with, see what the difference is. But I can definitely see that being a useful one. I mentioned the Shower of Death. Oh man, is it? Oh, I think Shower of Death is, yeah, it's 20% health. This one, Reap Your Soul, changes to 35% health and always generates insanity as though as a kill, which is 30 if the target dies. So that's not bad at all, actually. That's pretty useful because it expands your damage range for this big generator, and also means you're getting, again, 30% of your insanity in a single city. That has 2 charges. That means you're looking at roughly 60 insanity over 2 global cooldowns. That's not bad. And you can get up a lot quicker, which means, again, into Void form, more damage, blah, blah, blah. Next one. Mind Flay or Mind Sear. Again, this can be replaced with Mind Spike. I'll cover it. Again, it's coming up. Grants you 10% increase to, well, Mind Flay and Mind Sear for 6 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. That's extra 50% damage on 2 of your biggest abilities. On not 2 big abilities. Mind Sear is okay, but Mind Flay and or Mind Spike, that's not bad. Again, this is one of those rows I'm not sure where to go. I kind of like Reaper of Souls here because it increases our execute range, which is always nice, and this means that big bonus at the end where you really need it. Void Lord could be handy throughout the fight, and again, maybe Void Ray could be useful all the way through. 6 seconds is a decent amount of time to be able to get cast off. I honestly don't know. I feel that's best going to be one of those end of get your hands on it, experiment with it, see what you find. I could see being very useful though. What's my time at? Okay, I'm coming along just alright. Salayan? Sanlay. S-A-N-L-A-Y-N. Slayan? Wow, that is... Wow. Increase the damage of your Vampiric Touch by 20% and increases the healing of your Vampiric Embrace by 20%. Again, for soloing purposes, this sounds pretty good. Because, again, Vampiric Touch, you get half back, so essentially you're adding another 10% healing, or roughly, on to that. So that's pretty nice overall. And Vampiric Embrace is always a rather handy twist. And an additional... Yeah. And that's, again, Vampiric Embrace is based on your output. That one could go either way. That one could be very useful in the right circumstance. Auspicious Spirits, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is a more crit-oriented build because this, or maybe not quite so much crit-oriented, but it would definitely be there. Because your Shadowy Apparitions now do 100% increased damage and generate 4 insanity. If you have enough crits, like right now, that's a really powerful talent in Warlords of Draenor. Because it lets you get up Shadow Orbs like crazy. This could be a really good way to generate a bit of insanity on the side on top of what everything else already does. That could go either way. Shadowy Insight. Shattered Pain periodic damage is a 10% chance to reset the cooldown of Mind Blast and cause your next Mind Blast to be instant. Again, we've had this talent in the past. It's not bad. 10% on something you're trying to have 100% uptime on, not a bad little option. Honestly, this entire row could go any number of ways. They all sound abilities, and they all sound kind of fun in their own ways. I would see Shadowy, and again, we don't see a mastery bonus because other than none of these have really tied to the mastery at all. Oh no, Vampiric Touch. Never mind. So, Salayan is Void Vampiric Touch. AS, Auspicious Spirits, is Showered Pain, and then Pain again with Shadowy Insight. Pick one. See what your luck is. I'd say Sin Lion probably overall because it gets you a little more utility and a little more self-reliance, but Audacious Spirits might prove very useful if you can get your crit high enough to where you're constantly seeing those spirits, especially in large AoE pulls. That could be huge. Level 90. Power Infusion. This one's a pretty generic ability. I actually run it on my Disciplined Priest, but it's so useful. It's 25% bonus to haste, and in Shadow's case, it's an extra 25% insanity generation. You pop this at the beginning of a Void form, and you are just going to start throwing power spells left and right, which is going to keep you in Void form longer, which is going to keep that haste bonus bigger and bigger. It can be huge. Shadowcast. Hurl a bolt of slow-moving shadow energy at the destination, dealing 640% spell power damage to all targets within 18 yards. Generates 15 insanity. Depending on how slow-moving it is, I question its ability to be used to deal a lot of AoE damage compared to other options. Will its output be more useful than Power Infusion? This only has a 30-second cooldown. Power Infusion has a 2-minute cooldown, which means you can launch 4 of those in one period of time, which is 60 insanity and a lot of damage in theory. On big AoE pulls, I could see it. Yeah, the Mindbender, which replaces the Shadow Fiend. I actually don't know how the Shadow Fiend is going to function. In the past, it's always been a mana generator, but I'm not entirely sure how much mana regeneration is going to be necessary. I know it's there, but the Mindbender also generates insanity on top of it. Plus, it lasts longer, 15 seconds compared to the 12 of the Shadow Fiend, and also has a 1-minute cooldown compared to the 3-minute cooldown of Shadow Fiend. Depending on how hungry your mana gets, again, bigger haste means you are going to burn a lot of mana. This could prove useful. Legacy of the Void, which I want to say was a StarCraft 2 expansion. I want to say. And then I think about it. Was it? Void form may be activated anytime your insanity level is 70 or higher. I like it because it means more Void form. The problem is, it also means you have less insanity to work with while Void form starts to burn it. So is the more frequent one going to be offset by the fact that you have less to burn? Kind of goes back and forth on that one. And now finally, Mind Spike. This one is a 0.5 second cast, which deals a little spell damage. Doesn't look like a lot of spell damage, actually. Okay, that's over 3 seconds, so... Oh, okay, here we go. Assailing your target is Shadow Spikes, dealing 75% of spell... 37% of spell power. Wow, where'd that come from? Shadow Frost, which is kind of nice because it means it's not just one or the other. Shadow Frost means you get both Shadow and Frost for it, which means resistances won't play in quite as well as for others. Side note. And leave a spike embedded in their mind. Mind Blast will detonate these spikes, each dealing 200% of the original damage to the main target and 100% to all nearby targets. Generates 4 insanity. Mind Flay, in theory, will generate the same amount of insanity, but cause much more damage. Initially, you can get 2 Mind Spikes in the course of 1 Mind Flay. So let's go 4 in the course of 2. But then when you detonate, I don't know how the detonate's going to go. It definitely gives us a stronger AoE potential because it means you can Mind Blast and hit the group. I don't know how that one's going to go. I'm going to miss having Mind Spike as a regular option, though. I can tell you that much right now. And then finally, on a 10-minute cooldown, which is very rare. I don't see a lot of 10-minute cooldowns anymore in the game. They used to be that used to be like your battle reses and stuff, but those got moved around. This requires you being in Void form. All your insanity generating abilities generate 200% more insanity, and you can cast while moving until you exit Void form. Then you die. Horribly. I honestly have no idea how this is going to go. In theory, this could be a massive spike at the end. And if you're running Reaper of Souls, that's 60 insanity per showered death. Your showered void, that's another 50 insanity. It could be a massive string of this. But again, you're racing the clock. Again, your haste is picking up, but so is that drain. That could go any number of ways, and that one looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. But I've rambled on long enough. This is more or less just me kind of having some fun with you guys for a change. I've been just doing a lot of serious videos lately and just trying to do something, so I want to do something fun for a change. But this is going to end this one, folks. So my name's TechBant, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you all good luck, good hunting, and safe travels. I'll see you in the next one, folks. Preferably with a little more structure to it. Yeah, have a great one, folks.